Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. This is the presentation of the School of Chemistry in Rennes, one of the 20 engineering schools, a member of the network called Fédération Gay-Lussac. So this school presents a 5-year program for students of secondary from high school, and I'm going to develop a little bit the major aspect of this engineering program. So this is the federation where you can see all the major cities of France with one school of chemistry from north to south. And today I am presenting the School of Rennes, which is located in the west of France. So this network dedicated to chemistry and chemical engineering has very close linked with industry. And we are also very much involved with scientific research and innovation. But the main purpose of this network is to train engineers, for industry. So the School of Chemistry of Rennes is a very small institution. Indeed, it has 500 students, approximately 15% of foreign students coming from Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Research is part of the school mission, and we have 5 laboratories dedicated to research in the field of organic chemistry and theoretical chemistry, and environment, to be very large in the thematic. The school, as I said, is a 5-year program starting with what is known as class préparatoire. So in fact, we have in Rennes an integrated preparatory program that allows foreign students to join one of the 20 School of Engineering of the network after 2 years. So I will show the next slide. On this slide, sorry, you will be able to see this international preparatory program. The selection is made on scientific level, and there are French language requirements as well. So we require a level B1 according to the European standards to be allowed to be admitted into this program. So the selection is based on scientific results, secondary school scientific results. There is no competitive examination. Most of the time there is an interview. All right, so this program, to sum it up, is called CHEMIST, or for Chemistry International Studies. Right, so this last year, sorry, we had the following distribution of students. It's a little bit less than 500 students. So due to the COVID situation, we have lost a number of our international students. Right, so this is a program seen from this angle. So after secondary school, some students take part in a so-called preparatory semester, integration semester, where they learn students and they get some scientific courses, methodology courses mainly. After high school, the students will be admitted in the chemist program. They will be staying 2 years, and then they will integrate the advanced engineering program of one of the 20 schools of chemistry and chemical engineering that you were able to see a few slides ago. The particularity of this international program is that it hosts 50% of foreign students and 50% of French students. So this is literally a good match. It creates a very international atmosphere right from the early stage of training. So the group work is very much developed, and we try to personalize all our approaches, and a lot of practical works are also involved. During the 2 years, as I said before, there is no entrance examination as such, but there is no, I would say, end of studies examination as well. There is only a continuous assessment from September to the end of May. So you can see as well the agenda of holidays. So France is reputedly known for the holidays. The students like it very much. Right, so the training program is based on scientific subjects, of course, but also on languages and what we call humanities. So here you can see the distribution of scientific studies, scientific subjects, with the major part, of course, reserved to chemistry, mathematics, and computer science, and a portion of 30% dedicated to physics. So a lot of practical work is part of the program, is in fact the particularity of this program, a very specific feature, small groups, and very little fail in average. Well, we have probably 5 to 6% of failure, so which means that it's not really very important. So here again, the subjects. So we have, in fact, in the federation, in the network of schools of chemistry and chemical engineering, we have 5 sites that you can see on the slide: Lille, Strasbourg, Clermont-Ferrand, Pau, and Rennes, which has the international part of the sites. The other sites are reserved to French students. After the 2 years of foundation course called chemistry program, the students will opt for one of the 20 institutions I presented before on the map, and they will be able to choose between the schools of Paris, of Clermont-Ferrand, of Toulouse, etc., into what we call the engineering or advanced engineering program. In Rennes, for the occasion, the training program, the advanced program, is a 3-year program, and we developed 2 majors. One is dedicated to chemistry and technology for the living world. The second major is dedicated to environment, processes, and analysis. So it is a very general training program, because specialization will in fact be achieved at the end of the semester 10, so which means right at the end of the training program. This is probably a sort of political choice or a pedagogical choice of the School of Chemistry. All of them will develop very general training program and reserve specialization towards the end of the training program. So this is why you will find all the courses that you can see here. A particular care is given to languages and I would say knowledge of the world of business and enterprise. In short, the 3 years of the engineering program, so a lot of practical training. As I said before, the main mission of a School of Engineering is to train students, to train people for service in industry. At the end of the second year in Rennes, the second year means, in fact, the fourth year after high school. This ambiguity should be lifted right away. At the end of the second year or fourth year of program, students will have the opportunity to spend 6 months abroad, either for placement or for studies. And the same in the last year, so that it shows that there is it's a very comprehensive program with fundamental subjects and a lot of practical aspects, including the training to international experience. So after 5 years, a student will typically obtain an engineering degree, and about 20% of our graduates will continue into doctoral programs. Even though the situation might be a little bit affected by the ongoing corona crisis, there is, at the moment, it is still valid. There are good career opportunities, and the student will obtain their first jobs less than 3 months after graduation. And they will command some salaries, basic salaries of 32.5 thousand euros in France, and a bit more abroad, especially in North America and in Asia. They will reach probably salaries of about 48,000 euros. So we show that, in fact, the situation is quite good in spite of the present crisis. Right, so our engineers will find work in a lot of different sectors. It can be, of course, in the traditional chemical industry, cosmetics, pharmaceutical industry, but it can also be in the sector of environment, in research, in agrochemistry, in energy. So there are really a lot of different possibilities. So here again, some of the main possibilities of career, so in transport, biotechnology, etc. So typically, these are some of the activities they carry on. So research and development, more commercial side, also in engineer in fine chemistries. This is typically the people who work for the perfume industry, for instance. Production as well. This is a very big source of employment for our engineers. So after the training program, we can say a few words about the city of Rennes. The city of Rennes is a very lively student city. It ranks among the most appreciated cities for young people and students in general. It is a good competitor of Paris and of course, and Montpellier. So that life on our campus is extremely lively. You have the students have diverse opportunities to to take things off their mind. So that is to say, to dedicate some time in associations and clubs. So really, there is a rich and lively ambience in our institution. The city of Rennes is also known for its architecture. The city has a lot of different architectural styles, from the Middle Ages to the 19th century, as you can discover on the slides. Typical markets. And so now to conclude on the presentation, We recruit students right after their high school diploma, as you have understood. We require of the student a quite good scientific level, and of course some knowledge of the French level, of the French language at level B1, as I said. There is no entrance examination. There is only what we call applications based on marks of secondary schools and an interview to determine the motivation of the student. In addition to that, the cost of the studies is very low for all the students. We do not apply at this level any fees. We just apply the standard fees that the French students would pay, which means that international students, whether they are European or non-European, will not be subjected to the payment of supplementary fees, as is most of the time the case nowadays in French universities. Right, so we also provide lodging for all of our students. We can guarantee a student a room in a hall of residence or in the private park. So this is basically what I wanted to say today. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you would apply with us in the coming year for the coming September activity. Bye-bye.